And welcome back to Carrabba's Italian Grill at the Fayetteville Town Center. It's the Nye Automotive Q&A with head coach Red Autry. If you have a question, you can put it into the stream chat here at qsportstalk.com and fire away. And Coach, I was listening on the way in, and Tusi, he might still be on the phone somewhere.
Yeah, Coach Tusi.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking at the stream chat here. Those were the first two questions. Ryan says, "What the heck was Tusi talking about?" And then everybody's trying to fill in the blanks here.
Yeah, Tusi was letting me know, his opinions and his thoughts.
Yeah, he's a passionate fan.
Yeah, he is.
Got some ideas. Yeah. Jen saying, because there's some people now wondering what I think like he fired right off with well, Coach, you made three mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Jen in the stream chat said the first one was taking the call from that guy.
I like that.
But hey, you were on with us on the radio this morning, Coach, and you were on immediately after Sergeant Slaughter, the pro wrestling legend.
Oh, yeah. Sergeant Slaughter, man.
He wasn't your guy, though. We were talking about it. You're a Superfly snooker guy.
I wanted to jump off the bed, man. I wanted to jump from the top rope, man. Busting the springs in my bed. My mom was not happy about that.
And did you had siblings, right?
Yeah, I have a sister.
But you can't.
No, not with her.
Superfly snooker.
No. My cousins and my friends, My cousins and my friends. We play Superfly snooker a lot. The top rope.
After anything off the high rope, man. That's the way to go.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of questions rolling in here. Again, it's the stream chat of qsportstalk.com. Let me see here. Coach D5 says, why does Chris Bell shoot so many air balls? Is it a mechanical or bad shots? Or is it just when it happens, it just stands out?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes, he probably may take a tough one, and he has to get it off a little quicker. Sometimes, I think it just happens. But that's that's a question, I'm not sure about.
when it's in the real time of the game, and it just kind of happens, and right? That's how you learn things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see here. How about this one from Caleb? Wants to know what your thought process behind playing zone on inbounds. It seems like teams are starting to scheme for it, resulting in open threes.
I think the theme is to get them to throw the ball out, and then and to give them something different to look at. Playing man-to-man and out of bounds when we first started, I just thought that was a better way to defend it, better way to defend under out of bounds. And again, up until, everything is, you make a couple of shots. Oh, why'd you do that? But those things happen. I think when you look at our overall numbers, teams, under out of bounds, our defense is pretty decent when we do that.
Out of the left field sort of question here, Coach, unrelated to the game, but somebody here wants to know if you have any good Michael Jordan stories.
I think the one that really sticks out to me, and is not really a story, it's just, what made me really appreciate him is when he came out of retirement and won 3 championships in a row. I was like, man, this guy was really good. He's still really good. So I think it was more of an appreciation, not a story, but just kind of watching that. Then I remember the game that he played against the New York Knicks, because I'm a New York Knicks fan, and he faked baseline, and then he came back and dunked it. And
is that the one?
He dunked it on Patrick, and I was just like, God, he just ruined my Christmas.
I remember that game, and I remember that play. I was watching that same game.
Oh, yeah.
We were on... years ago, I don't know if I mentioned this on this part of the show before, but on vacation years ago at the Atlantis Resort, and he was playing cards down there. It was just him against the house.
Right? Yeah.
It was 10 grand a hand, and then he was doing two hands at a time against the house.
It's a good life, man.
From the stream chat again, qsportstalk.com. If you have a question for Red, you can put it in there, and we'll get to as many as we can. Who are the guys that you look to step up and bring leadership when things aren't going your way on the court?
I mean, we have several guys. I think this group is a close-knit group. We brought in, 6 freshmen, and I think obviously we had to interject them with the other guys. But it's been numerous occasions. Sometimes it's Copeland, sometimes it's Judas. Sometimes it's been Munir Hema. Sometimes it's been Kyle Cuff. We've had numerous guys. This group is again it's very 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 close. So it depends. But most of the time it's probably me.
Yeah.
But we've had occasions where certain people have stepped up.
I read just a couple of days ago, it was an older interview with Lawrence Moten, and he was saying that when he was playing with you as a teammate, that if he was on fire, you'd be the trash talker.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever was defending him, you'd be the guy that'd say, he's killing you, man. I'm just going to keep passing it to him.
I tell people this all the time. I played with the all-time leading scorer, then two 1,800-point scorers. I played with Lawrence Moten, Billy Owens, and John Wallace.
Wow.
And then Dave Johnson, I think he scored about 1,600. So my whole career here, I was always playing with scorers. So I knew what my job was, to get those guys the ball, and then get all the attention on them, and then I would get my little points off.
Well, your point. And then, so as a result, though, a lot of assists. I mean, you're still in the top, of the assist categories for most of the time that you were here.
Yeah. I don't think. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll get broken anytime soon.
And probably just the change in the game too. That's one of the reasons why some of those numbers won't fall anytime soon, just because the nature of how the game is played.
The game has changed. I think it'll kind of get back to what I think it'll get more of a balance. I think it will, but right now the game is definitely different.
This is from Steve. Coach, you weren't able to get things turned around at halftime, but 3 minutes, I don't know if I'm reading it correctly there, but things turned our way. What did you do as the game was going on to achieve the result that you couldn't seem to get at halftime?
I think it's the guys. They just they buckled down and they started playing defense again. As a coach, you talk to them, you try to implore them. You see things differently. You try to get them to do things, but ultimately, they do it. And I thought they buckled down, and they started playing harder, and not harder, but we just kind of focused in, and we started making it tough, and we got ourselves right back in the game.
This question here, obviously it's a hindsight question because as the game was unfolding, but they want to know, what would you, looking back, and now you looked at the game tape, what would you have done differently at the end of that first half and into the second half when BC went on that big run, like in hindsight, obviously?
What would I have done? I would have told JJ to stay down and don't flip on his head, so I didn't have to take him out. And I would have told Judah, don't gamble to get that second foul. So then I would have left him in. But from what I did, again, if those guys in those two situations happened, I don't know how much I would have changed. Besides that, I made adjustments because of what happened. JJ flips, he's out for the last, I think, a minute or two in the game. 2 minutes of the first half. Then Judah has 2 fouls. Now he has to come back in. And again, it's funny. That last drive, I thought Judah thought he got fouled, but I thought he could have made that basket. That would have, we had a couple of possessions at the end that I thought we could have converted on, and that would have made it different. But the game was won. The game was going to be won and lost in the second half. And I think that's what happened in the second half. We just didn't do a good job of, defending them. Even when we were scoring, they kept scoring. So, it was a back and forth game for a while.
This is from Matt, the 10-year anniversary of the Duke game. Any memories from that day? So 2014.
Just the crowd. The crowd. It was on. I didn't expect it to be that many people, and it really was.
And that was a Saturday game.
It was a Saturday game. It felt like. I remember. I don't know if it was that game or the game when Zion was supposed to play. It felt like a Super Bowl. you just seen like lights and cameras, and it was just a buzz.
It was big.
It was big. It was big. But that game was, and it was a great game. It was a great game. Won in overtime. It was one of the classic games.
That's one of those games that, as a player, that's why you come to a place like Syracuse or Duke or whatever to be in that environment and get that get that vibe. This one here, Coach, what do you look for when recruiting players? Other than the obvious,
I think it depends on the position, what you're looking for. But character is huge. Character, pedigree. Coming from winning programs and understanding that stuff. I think all of those little things matter. But really, just getting the character piece is huge. And then obviously, all the other stuff, athleticism, fast, quick, skill set, certain skill sets that you need to have for a position that I'm looking to recruit you for.
This one here, how much difference does it make if a guy gets a third foul late in the first half or early in the second half?
Well, I think they both kind of have that impact. Again, it depends on who's getting the foul. And then after that, I really think it's about the feel of how the game is being called. What's the matchups? People just, can you put him somewhere else on the court? Where he may not, be attacked. But typically, when you're better players, they get in foul trouble. As coaches, you look to try to, take advantage of that because that they're not going to be as aggressive as they would be without the foul. So I mean, again, those are I think those are all situational. That's just knowing the player.
This one here, Coach, do you remember when, Ron Ellis and Coach Boeheim in a small skirmish versus NC State at the Dome?
What? I feel like I vaguely remember LeBron kind of walking into the bathroom and then coming back out.
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
I vaguely remember that. But I don't know if it was so much a coach getting on him or he was just frustrated. Can't remember what it really was.
It looks like 91. Does that sound about right? 1991?
Yeah. That was my freshman year. Yeah.
Roddy wants to know, do you prefer New York style or deep dish pizza? And we get it all in here.
Ooh, I'm a thin crust guy. So is that New York style?
Yeah, I would say because Chicago's the deep dish and Detroit's kind of deep dish. So
I'm
a thin crust guy.
I like that.
We were just talking about the Duke game, and they were wondering which Duke game, the Dome or the Jacket Duke game. We were talking about the Dome one.
We were talking about the Dome one, but the Jacket one was a good one too, though.
That was awesome.
That was a really good game, and I could remember, that call. The game was pretty much over, and I thought Coach basically was sending a message.
It was spectacular.
Oh, it was. He was sending a message, but it was such a good game, back and forth, guys battling.
And Paul, you were down there, right? See you nodding too, kind of enjoying the moment there.
Well, I do the interview.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I get down at Duke about 2 minutes before the game ended. And Coach walked in, and I had no idea it happened. And I'm like, "Why is he in here?" He's like, "I can't talk to you until after the game." There's also the Tyler Roberson.
Yeah, like 20 rebounds. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Back to QSportsTalk.com. Let's see. This one, Coach. Back in the 90s, the Dome and national TV were used as a recruiting tool. Is it as big a recruiting tool now as it was back in that era?
I think it's still big, but I think with all the new, media, all the new streaming services and the TV contracts for every conference now, was on TV. I think people, back then the Big East had that ESPN deal, and the conferences didn't have that. So, we were very, very visible, so to speak. We were more visible as a conference than most conferences, and I think that's changed a lot, with all the conferences now having their own, networks.
This one here from Coach D5. Do you think load management will make its way to college basketball to protect the players the way they're doing it in the NBA?
I think it has. I think it already has. we and I wouldn't say load management. I think we, I guess it would be load management. We have, we know exactly where our guys are at. And again, some of it is obvious, based on the turnaround of the games and all that stuff. But, I think it's already there. I think, I don't think it'll happen as far as sitting out a game. It won't get to that point in college. I seriously doubt that. But I think it really is dictated, how long you practice or when you practice and the types of things that you do at practice.
Ryan wants to know, and I think we showed you the video last week. Maybe Paulie did, of getting put into the wrestling hold, the camel clutch. I think it was that. What is that? The one? It was like the Sergeant Slaughter type.
The sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter. Did it give you a warm feeling inside when you saw that? Is what Ryan wants to know.
You know what? When I seen it, I chuckled. I don't know if it was a warm feeling. Paulie's my guy, man. I'm glad he made it out.
He did. He made it out. He made it out.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Again, kind of scrolling through a lot of questions tonight. So bear with me here. From this one here, in a season of ups and downs, how do you stay positive and embrace the journey that you're on, Coach?
Because I think you take everything and you got to take everything and look at it as a whole. Obviously, we for this current season right now. I mean, again. We lost a game or two here, but when you look at the whole, 21 games in, 14-7 with the schedule that we have, I think most people would, be okay with that. I thought we lost. Could we done a little bit better? I believe we could, but it is. That's that. But we have 10 games left, so I'm very hopeful. I see progress. I see the team getting better in certain areas. So I'm excited about the end of the season, the way we can finish up.
And it's just the nature of it. It's like ups and downs, and that's the that's why we like to watch sports. It's like it's the drama part of it. It's that it doesn't always go your way, but that's the point, and how you pick yourself back up again.
Absolutely.
Caleb wants to know, how have injuries affected the team's play style this year?
Well, I'll knock on my table right now. Injuries, we've had two, but I don't think it's changed the way we played. I just think it's changed, who plays and how much, our rotations, having Naheem out, a couple of games in, obviously that thrust Malik into a different role. And then, we never really had a chance to get Chance, involved because he had his injury early on. So, again, we've been, just not to have those two guys out. We've been fortunate not to have any, other injuries. And I thought with our team, we've had a lot of depth. So I think we've been able to overcome it a little bit.
From the most recent game, Coach, at BC, which stat gets your attention more? The BC hitting 50% from the three, or the rebounding differential, or the free throws? Like, is there any, one of those that jump out at you as a coach more than as a fan would?
Yeah, the loss.
That's
the loss.
The bottom line, right?
Yeah, the bottom line is really what jumps out. But I think if you had to break it down and answer that question, it would be the 3-pointers, the 10 3-pointers, because the rebound part, I think we always offset that because we generate and we turn people over. So we create a lot of turnover. So the rebound, I think we need to battle on the boards. But I think the 3-point defense is a thing that I always look to when we playing teams. It's just teams these guys can shoot, and they shoot a ton of threes. So we got to do a better job of defending, and we've done that for the most part.
There's a couple of questions here about the Super Bowl coming up next week, and were you able to watch last weekend's at all?
I watched some of the Kansas City, Baltimore game, and the second game I did not watch. I think I might have been watching film, doing something with film, something like that. But I watched the Baltimore Kansas City game. That was an exciting game.
And I forgot, were you Baltimore?
No.
You're okay. So
I was just watching.
You were just watching it.
Yeah, I was just watching. Two great teams, two great quarterbacks. Hey, just watching.
And then that second game, the 49ers game, I saw up till the half. same thing. It was Detroit was way out, and then obviously they coughed it up at the end. But even, I was watching it with my wife, and she doesn't follow sports that much, doesn't follow football, but even she said, why aren't they kicking the field goal?
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things, if it works, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Then if not, then... so who do you like to follow up, I guess, in the Super Bowl? You got to go.
Yeah.
Kansas City?
Yeah, maybe San Francisco. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
Let me see here. Coach, at the McDonald's All-American game, were you in awe of seeing a giant like Luther Wright or Sean Bradley?
I think I was really more in awe of seeing Sean Bradley. The way he moved, how tall he really was, and he can he took part in the 3-point shooting contest when I was in the McDonald's All-American.
Did he really?
Oh yeah. I think he finished. I think I beat him. He might have finished second or third. Yeah.
Let me see here. Besides Georgetown, what's one rival that you want to see on the schedule again? And would you rather play at Madison Square Garden or home and home?
It depends. I mean, it's a lot of, obviously it would be someone probably in the Big East. I think that would resonate. You can think about, it's schools, wouldn't, try to, some type of Big East school. It's so many, teams that, you got St. John's, you got Villanova, you got Connecticut, you got, I think, those are probably the three or four schools that would come to mind, when you talk about stuff like that.
I remember being at one of the games at the Dome. It was when they would have the NBA preseason games. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Dwayne Shinsis?
Oh yeah, Big Dwayne. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go on the court and do like a free throw game or something like that. And for a moment, I had to stand next to him. What was 7'4"? 7'4".
Oh, he was 7'4".
Like all of that. I mean, you talk, that's probably the tallest guy that I ever stood next to like that. It's like, oh my God.
You haven't, Naheem's 7'4".
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
same height.
Naheem's 7'4". Yeah.
Let me see. Who's your all-time Cuse starting five with two on the bench?
Oh man,
that's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. I know.
I always plead the fifth on this one because whoever I say, if I don't say any of my teammates or someone else, and I know older guys too. Dennis Duval and all those guys. So I just say,
that's it. That's leave that up. That's a good bar.
Yeah.
If you're having a couple of beers with the guys, you can debate that one there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wake Forest coming up on Saturday night down at Wake Forest at 7:45. Is there a time that you have not had a tip off yet this year? Because you've played at 9 in the morning, noon, 1, 11.
Oh yeah. I think
4, 7:45.
We not even have played at 4 or 2. I think the 4 or the 2 time slot. I don't think we played that yet. I don't think we played those 2 slots, but we played every other spot from 7, 8, and 9.
They and that Wake Forest had a stumble of their own last night, but I mean, they're any road game in conference is a tough game to win.
Tough game to win. Tough to win on the road, but they're a very good team, very explosive offensive team. Getting healthy, they just returned one of the other guys that can shoot the ball. When they got shooters all over the court, they got guys that can score inside. It's a veteran team, but really, high-powered offensive team.
An update, I don't have a score, but an update, the SU women battling, but a lot of missed opportunities is the only headline that I have right now for it.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see, this one from Jen, it's a good one to end on here. What time should Tusi from Washington meet the team down at Wake Forest?
Tusi can meet them down there on Sunday.
Okay.
At 10 when we left. No, I'm joking.
No, that's a good one. No, good answer. Joking. Good answer.
No, Tuti was, I respect his opinions.
And how's your son doing at George Washington?
He's doing well. They're getting ready to play. I think they got a game soon, but he's doing well. He's playing some consistent minutes. It's tough though, but he's doing well.
It's a 55-43, by the way. Louisville up at the moment there, but nonetheless, we'll keep an eye on the rest of that game. Coach, good stuff as always. A couple of well wishes for you, and good luck on the road trip. We'll see you back here next week.
See you
next Thursday here at Carrabba's on the QSportsTalk.com for the Nye Automotive Q&A with Coach Red Autry. Thanks again. See you next week.
Thanks.